Guys,
Yes.
see, we have a cloud service layer, we have a query processing layer. You can call it as a cloud computing also, and virtual warehouses also, and a database storage layer. So, what is this virtual warehouse? What is this virtual warehouse? Guys, what is this virtual warehouse? Yesterday I have discussed and explained clearly. Open your mouth.
Yeah. Cloud services layer where you can authenticate the user. Like what are the
I am asking what is the virtual warehouse?
virtual warehouse is a warehouse where a user will create a virtual warehouse for every project or every need requirement. So where the virtual warehouse it contain the hardware resources it attached to them, so that you can store the data, you can process data, you can able to visualize data.
Fine. Today we are going to discuss in detail about the virtual warehouse, how it looks like, how it will work. Because yesterday we have seen the database storage layer, like so the main least component of this database storage layer is the micro partition. Today we will discuss in detail about the virtual warehouse layer. In detail discuss we will discuss about the in detail on virtual warehouse, how it looks like, how it will work. Fine. Virtual warehouse. And also, guys, just my request, while I am explaining the concepts, please from your end also make some running note. I will share all the contents and the materials from my end, but from your end also, I need like some running notes to prepare, because it shows the interest on the discussion, and it will be useful to refer the content of the session at the end of the day, so that you can able to remember whatever we are going to discuss, whatever we have discussed in the particular session. So if you don't prepare any running notes, then it is not good practice actually. Fine, guys. See, virtual warehouse is the hardware resource in Snowflake. In Snowflake, hardware resource in Snowflake. Fine. So we can create multiple virtual warehouses in Snowflake environment. I will explain you guys. I will explain all these things. You can create multiple virtual warehouses Snowflake and you create the dedicated virtual warehouse for each project. See, what is the meaning of this hardware resources? What is the meaning of this hardware resources? Guys, See, hardware resources nothing but hardware resources nothing but. So whatever we have, suppose let's consider if we discussed in a traditional data warehouse, we have a 1 second to open the diagram. Guys, I need any like comment from you that whatever we are discussing in the session, so you are understanding right or getting any confusions? Hello.
Yeah, I understand.
Fine. See here, in traditional data warehouse, to build the traditional data warehouse, uh, so we have a physical server, hard disk, and then this hardware resources, CPU, motherboard, and then memory, etc. So same thing. This is a hardware resources in our Snowflake virtual warehouse is the hardware resource in Snowflake, which is used to load the data, process the data, and to execute the IO request. I will tell you. See, virtual warehouse nothing but here we can't able to set up. We can't able to set up the physical hardware devices here. Just they have simplified in the Snowflake environment that how you are going to create a table, create table name, how you are going to create other objects like create database name, create stored procedure name, create function name, like that. Here also we are going to create a virtual warehouses using a create statement. That virtual warehouses will be 1 second. I will show you that syntax also. How do we create the virtual warehouse also? See, this is my virtual warehouse. This is my virtual warehouse. How do we create the virtual warehouse? Leave about that virtual warehouse syntax. See, so we are going to create a virtual warehouse, and the virtual warehouse will be created based on the different sizes, guys. Different sizes. I will show you. Yesterday also I shown all the different sizes, but based on these different sizes, we are going to create a. See, these are the different sizes we have in virtual warehouse. We have a X small, we have a small, we have a medium, and we have a large, we have a X large, etc. Fine. So based on our requirement, based on our project requirement, we are going to create a dedicated virtual warehouse with the different virtual size. What is the meaning of this dedicated virtual warehouse means? Yesterday I mentioned, suppose we have around 20 projects in our organization. using 20 projects are using a same Snowflake environment. So instead of sharing a same hardware resource to 20 projects, Snowflake has provided the beautiful feature. Instead of sharing the same hardware resource to all the projects, Snowflake has provided a beautiful facilities or feature to create a separate and individual hardware resource to each and every project, so that we can create a multiple virtual resource Snowflake environment and create the dedicated virtual resource for each project. Dedicated. So when we create a dedicated, what is the meaning of dedicated? Means separate virtual warehouse to the each project. So whenever we are creating a dedicated virtual warehouse in Snowflake environment based on the project. Suppose let's consider As mentioned, if I have a 20 projects, if I have created a, if we have created a 20 virtual warehouse. So guys, based on the project, the DBS will restrict, DBS will database administrators will restrict to select the, uh, or suppose if you log in into the Snowflake environment, so based on your project, based on your user ID, DBS will restrict to select the only dedicated virtual warehouse based on your project. Suppose let's consider, so I have a virtual warehouse 1, I have a virtual warehouse 2, I have a virtual warehouse 3, I have a virtual warehouse 4. This virtual warehouse is created for project 1. So virtual warehouse 2 is created for project 2. This is for project 3. This is for project 3. This is for project 4. And let's consider in project 1 we have a 10 members. In project 2 we have a 15 members. In project 3 we have 5 members. In project 4 we have 8 members. What I mean to say, this is dedicated virtual warehouse. This is project name. Number of engineers, 5. What I mean to say, yes, we have these many projects and these many virtual warehouse and these many associates in the project. Whenever the 10 members, these 10 members are logged into the Snowflake environment, they can able to see their project related virtual warehouse only. They will not see all these virtual warehouses, because based on the project and then based on the number of users, and user ID, the DBS will restrict to see the only their particular virtual warehouse. If project 2 associates are login into the Snowflake environment, they can able to see the virtual warehouse 2 only. So by doing this, what is the benefit means, instead of accessing or instead of sharing any one virtual warehouse to across all the projects, so again we are going to create a performance issues and burden to the Snowflake environment. And by doing this, if project 4 associates are logged into the Snowflake environment, they can able to see their dedicated virtual warehouse. So that as we have a separate virtual warehouse for each and every project, so we can able to select a dedicated virtual warehouse for our project requirement. Suppose let's consider, see, this project 1 is having a huge requirement. This warehouse is created with the medium size. This project is processing a still very huge data. So in that case, they are created with the large size. So this may be a small size. This may be a small size. Now, see here, yes, we have a virtual warehouses with the different sizes, which is created based on the our project requirement. So if you select your own virtual warehouse, then you can able to see better performance and good performance in all the process. Like see here, I have mentioned, see, hardware resources in Snowflake, which is used to load the data and process the data and to execute the IO request. whenever we are going to load the data into the Snowflake environment, these virtual warehouse is very much required. Without virtual warehouse, we can't do any process in the Snowflake environment. To load the data we required, to process the data required. Suppose let's consider some XYZ user is submitting a IO request to the Snowflake environment. Guys, what is the meaning of IO request? What is the meaning of IO request?
Read and write.
Super. IO request means input and output request. Input and output request. What is the meaning of input and output? Suppose I am a user to the super. I am a user to the Snowflake environment. I am submitting a SQL code to execute that into Snowflake data warehouse, and I am requesting some output from the Snowflake environment. So in such scenario, so to execute your SQL code also, we are required this virtual warehouse. Without this virtual warehouse, we can't able to do anything. We can't able to do anything in the Snowflake environment. And also we can create, just I will mention the theoretical part, we can create the virtual warehouse with the different sizes based on the requirement. As I mentioned here, I have a different virtual warehouse size. I have a different virtual warehouse size here. See here, we have a different virtual warehouse size: X small, medium, large, X large, etc. Fine. And within this virtual warehouse, so we have two types of virtual warehouse. Single virtual warehouse, multi-cluster warehouse. We'll discuss about the single. Guys, not only theoretical part I am discussing here on the virtual warehouse. Once we create our Snowflake environment, I will create Snowflake environment in front of you, and also will make you to create a Snowflake account also. Once we create the Snowflake account, from there we will start to create all the objects. So before to that, so we need to have a better understanding of this virtual warehouse, so that I am explaining these things. A single virtual warehouse. Can create with the different size. One second. Can create with the different size. And apart from this, we have some default options in virtual warehouse. Default options in virtual. Suppose let's consider. So we have created one virtual warehouse with the different sizes. As mentioned yesterday, if your work is done for the particular day, after completion of 10 minutes, automatically the virtual warehouse is going to in a suspension mode. We have an option while creation of this virtual warehouse. We have an option to select this auto resume and then auto suspension. So you need to select this option. If you select this auto suspension, it will ask that what is the time you need to provide here. to go into the auto suspension. If you give 10 minutes or 20 minutes, then once you shut down your system after completion of your work for the particular day, after continuously 10 minutes, if you are not using any virtual warehouse, if you are not using any Snowflake environment, then automatically it will go into the suspension mode. And whenever you restart your session, automatically it will come into auto resume. Guys, do you have any questions here in this case? Do you have any questions?
So if we have the multiple users like 10, so everyone can have this access to auto resume and auto suspension, right?
No, so this is the default. This is not specific to auto resume and then auto option. This is specific to this virtual warehouse. So whenever the user is having access to this virtual warehouse, by default he will get the all options whatever he has in the virtual warehouse. See, we will define, we will create. Suppose let's consider, guys. I will give you in a simple example. If you have a table, leave about the Snowflake environment and other databases. Just I am discussing about the one database. If you have a table, in that table, if I have 100 records, fine. I have 100 users are connected to database. If 100 users are connected to database and they are trying to select the database, but what results they are able to see? They can able to see entire data or they can able to see part of the data.
Based on the user permission, if you have full data permission, then full data table can able to see. Or if you have only particular records permission, you can able to see. Based on the permissions what you have, authentication.
Based on the permissions, they can able to see here. So based on your permission, so here is these are the these are the options we have in the virtual warehouse. So there is no like user specific, there is no user specific and then permission specific functionalities. Once we create the virtual warehouse in the Snowflake environment and we are going to provide access to the particular user, if the user is having access to a Snowflake environment, he can able to see this virtual warehouse. Whenever he can able to use this virtual warehouse, all these functionalities are available for the all the users. This is clear for your query, guys? No.
No, Shekhar. I mean, for every project, all the users will have default those access. Whenever we want to start the work, we'll have an auto resume, and whenever we have completed work, we have
Correct. See, so this is the project. So these many members are there in the project one. If 10 members are login into the Snowflake environment, they can able to see this virtual warehouse and they can able to use this virtual warehouse. Whatever this virtual warehouse is defined with the properties and with the options, that virtual warehouses will be visible to all the 10 members. Clear or not? So there is no user specific functionality in the virtual warehouse. Whatever we are going to create a virtual warehouse with the options that, so there is no restrictions or there is no user specific functionalities here. Whatever we are going to create a virtual warehouse, that entire thing will be visible to these 10 members. There is no conditions here. Clear or not, guys?
Yeah, actually, but there must be some admin kind of person in the team, right? Who must be having more
That's what the initial step itself. I explained that these kind of activities are done by the DBS only, not from our developers. But the thing is, you need to just I am explaining. You need to understand what is a virtual warehouse and how it works. But these things will be handled by the assigning the virtual warehouse and the removing the permissions to access the virtual warehouse. or these responsibilities are handled by the database administrators only. Fine.
Yeah, got it.
Got it, right? So, any other doubts, guys? See,
So only DBA will give the access for those things, auto thing, and all,
no,
right?
no, don't confuse here.
Uh,
See, this is the object. This is the object.
okay.
This is the object. When initial stage itself, when we set up the Snowflake environment, so as a developer, I am not going to set up the, environment. But let's consider, suppose you have a SQL Server database. DBA will install the SQL Server database, but configurations, how much memory is required, how much data storage is required. So who will provide that inputs to the DBA? Can you explain, anyone? See, you are designing your database for your business requirements in your on-prem servers. Let's say SQL Server, you are designing database for the particular business. Before going to install SQL Server, there should be a proper configurations. There should be a proper hardware details. What are the things need to be included while installing the SQL Server software? Those inputs are given by whom? So who will decide that one in the project? Guys, come on.
The DBA.
No. So DBA will do as per DBA will do and DBA will install as per project team guidelines. So who is the project team? We are the project team. So we have a particular our project architects, right? Particular architects, database architect, data warehouse architect. So they will take the decisions based on the so how much data load will be coming into the environment. So how many users are connecting to your environment? How many users are submitting daily IO request? How many users are daily do some transactions? How many users are connecting to your Snowflake environment and generating the reports? Based on all these analysis, our database architect will decide what type of configuration we need to do the things. So here also same thing, before going to set up the environment, our database architect will decide what type of virtual warehouse we need to create, what is the size we need to provide that for that project. So they will suggest what type of virtual warehouse we need to create and what is the size they need to include. Based on that, the DB will proceed and then DBA will work on that. So here, so we will create this virtual warehouse with the all the options. While creation of a virtual warehouse, we will select a virtual warehouse size and then we will select a auto suspension and auto resume and then create that object. So now we have a virtual warehouse in the Snowflake environment. What DBS will do for this, sorry.
Shekhar, the question that once he decided, means architect design, like how much time it will be resume, or when you have to resume, when you have to be suspended, like when data resuming, is any data loss? Is there a chance of data loss, right?
No. If data loss is there means, then why do we have this? No, there is no data loss for this. There is no data loss. The only thing is why do we have this option means to save the cost to your, see, whenever the session is goes into a auto suspend. Suppose let's consider. So you have leave about these remaining projects. Suppose I will take the example for who is having a very less project members in the project. So I have a 5 members in project and they are connecting to this Snowflake environment. They are using this virtual warehouse 3. This is clear, guys. I have a project 3.
Yeah, yes.
This is clear now. So I am explaining to Mallikarjun question. So 5 members are connected to the Snowflake environment. They are working in the different timelines. Fine. So how many people are connected to the Snowflake environment? How many people are accessing Snowflake environment? So for those services, the organization need to pay the charges to the Snowflake company. Is that valid? See, 5 members are accessing the Snowflake environment and utilizing the resources. Fine. For that utilization, your organization need to pay to the Snowflake company. Is that valid point or not?
Yeah, yes, Shekhar.
Correct. Now, so out of these 5 people, suppose one associate is working 10 hours daily, other associate is working 5 hours daily, other associate is working 7 hours daily, other associate is working 2 hours daily, other associate is working only 1 hour daily. So as people are working on a different timelines and different duration, instead of paying a common cost to the Snowflake company, whatever your organization is using, whatever the associates are using the services, for that only your organization is going to pay. As one of the associate is going to work only for 1 hour, after completion of that 1 hour, the remaining 23 hours, your Snowflake environment will be in the suspension mode. So in that case, for that service, the organization is going to pay only for 1 hour. So that associate is saving a remaining 23 hours. So it will work like that. It will work like that. Now clear or not, guys? Not clear. Mallikarjun.
Okay,
So
clear.
to improve the performance, this activity is there, auto insertion. I mean, the whole those things. Just to improve.
Not an improved, not only to improve the performance improvement, to save the cost to the
Cost.
project also.
Okay.
See here, improvement will coming under based on the different sizes here. Fine. So this auto suspension, just we have a lot many things to discuss in. Warehouses actually. This auto resume and then auto suspend option will coming under to save the cost to your organization. So if you provide 10 minutes in your auto suspension option, so whenever you are going to log off your system after completion of your work, after continuously 10 minutes, if you are not using your session, and then automatically this will go into the suspension mode. Again, whenever you log into the Snowflake, automatically it will resume. So this is about the single virtual warehouse. Again, we have one more type here, multi-cluster warehouse. So this is little bit confused. This is little bit confusion while understanding. So you need to understand clearly. See here, multi-cluster warehouse means, I will tell you. We have a different options here. So you need to understand this actually. So it is a little bit confusion, but we have. I will explain it clearly. No need to worry. Say in case of the single virtual warehouse, you will have a option to create the. You will have a option to select sizes and then auto resume option and auto suspension option. By selecting these things, then you are going to create a virtual warehouse. This sizes will be available in the drop down list with the all these values. Fine. So by selecting these things, so the parameters are sizes and then auto resume and then auto suspension. You will select and then you will create a single virtual warehouse. In case of a again one more thing I want to mention regarding the single virtual warehouse. You are created a virtual warehouse, single virtual warehouse, and you are using that virtual warehouse. Suppose let's consider for a particular period, unexpectedly while doing some ETL operations, Unexpectedly, today you are processing a huge data. Regularly, you will assume that the inflow of the data to your Snowflake environment around 2 TB of data. So based on the 2 TB of data, you have created a single virtual warehouse with the some medium size. Single virtual warehouse with the some medium size. Today, unfortunately, due to the some XYZ reason, last couple of days your ETL job has not ran, and then today you are running that data. So you got around 8 TB of data, then 10 TB of data in your ETL process. In that case, whatever you have defined, the virtual warehouse is the medium, it is not sufficient for your operation. It is not sufficient for your operation. In that case, again you have a beautiful future and option here. So you can on the fly, while doing any process, while executing an ETL batch job, while executing a SQL command, while loading a data on the fly, without impacting anything, without disconnecting anything, without stopping anything, without intervention anything, you can able to increase the virtual warehouse size to the next level to make it a faster, and then to make it a data load into the data warehouse. Suppose if if you have created a virtual warehouse with the medium size, if the data is data load is heavily today, due to that whatever we have created, that virtual warehouse is not going to perform very well based on the data load is heavily. So in that case, we can able to manually increase the virtual warehouse size without impacting or affecting anything. This concept can be called as a scaling up. Scaling up. So scaling up means based on your requirement on the fly, you can able to increase the virtual warehouse size to complete your task easily without any problem. So we have that option that is called as a scaling out. Fine.
You don't have the dynamic option that automatically it will allocate more size or something.
So that's what that option we have in multi-cluster warehouse. So we have two options here: single virtual warehouse and then multi-cluster warehouse. If you create the single virtual warehouse, so manually you can able to scale out your virtual warehouse. So automatically means we have that option multi-cluster warehouse. That I am going to explain you. Fine. Now see here, we are going to create a multi-cluster warehouse with the different options. We have a mode option and then we have a scaling option. So in mode options, we have a like auto scale and then maximize option. So in scaling option, we have a standard and then economy option. See, whenever you are trying to create a multi-cluster options, multi-cluster warehouse, automatically you have these two options. You need to select these two options here, mode and then, so these are the drop down options here. Mode and then, so guys, don't worry, I will show you how to create all these things. I will show you what are the options, whatever we are discussed here. I will show all the options while creation of your virtual warehouse. No worries. Before to that, we need to, why I am explaining all these things is we need to be comfortable with the Snowflake like terminologies. So if you are comfortable on the terminologies, then when we start our practical sessions, then you will easily understand what we are doing. That's what I am trying to explain all these things, and I am focusing all these things. Now, if you are creating multi-cluster warehouse, you have two options: this mode option, the scaling policy option. Along with this, so you have this auto resume and then auto suspend also. How we have these options in single virtual warehouse? Here also we have these many options. Here also you have these options. Now you will be creating a, so this is the default option. This you have to select, and while creating this multi-cluster warehouse, you will be creating a by selecting a combination of these two things. Then the combination is auto scale and then standard. See here, I will tell you what is the meaning the combination. Auto scale and then standard, auto scale and then economic. you will be creating a multi-cluster warehouse with the below combinations: auto scale and then standard. One is option, first option, and then auto scale and then economy. This is second option. When you select this maximize option, so this will be hidden. It will not display this option. When you select maximized option, this option will be hidden. It will not display you. It will not display you. Then I will tell you one by one what is the meaning of this auto scale and then standard option. What is the meaning of this auto scale and then economy, and then what is the meaning of this maximized. Now we'll discuss about the one by one. Auto scale and then standard. So this is the first component, auto scale and then standard. Actually, this is the best practice we are going to create with this option only. When you select this auto scale and then standard option, while creation of this multi-cluster warehouse, again in Snowflake, while creation of this virtual warehouse, you will be having two more inputs to select: minimum clusters and then maximum clusters. Minimum clusters, and if you select this auto scale here, if you select mode auto scale, automatically you will get these two options: minimum clusters and then maximum clusters. What is the meaning of this cluster? Cluster means servers. How many servers are you are going to? Nothing but you are providing your hardware resource. You are providing your hardware resources to your virtual warehouse. Now, one second. You are providing virtual warehouses to one second. See, when you select this auto scale, automatically you will get these two options: minimum clusters and then maximum clusters. So you can select minimum cluster is 1, maximum clusters is until 10. You can able to select the maximum value is 10. Maximum value is 10, and then scaling policy 10. Then when you create by selecting this option, when you create this multi-cluster warehouse, what is the difference here? What is the meaning? Means whenever you are performing your operation, whenever you are submitting your IO request, based on your IO request or based on your data load, based on your data process, Snowflake internally will calculate how much resources are required to complete this particular task. Then it will start initially with the minimum cluster. It will start with the minimum cluster 1. If this task is going to, it will calculate internally before going to start the process. It will start with the minimum cluster 1. Still, if the minimum cluster 1 is not sufficient, then it will add the maximum cluster is to 1. Even though if you define 10, it will start with the initially 1. And then, so based on your workload, based on your data process, based on your IO request, it is going to increase 1 plus 1 plus 1, 1 plus 1, like this. It will not consume all 10 clusters at a time. So based on the request, based on the process, it is going to add 1 by 1, and then it is a automatic process. You are not going to do anything here. So you will define while creation of while creation of a multi-cluster warehouse with the minimum number of clusters and then maximum number of clusters. If you define maximum number of customers to the 5, so based on the process, it will increase 1 plus 1 plus 1. It will not directly go into the 1 and 5. It will execute with the 1 and then maximum cluster 1, and it will execute with the minimum cluster 1 and then maximum cluster 2, and it will execute with the minimum cluster 1 and then maximum cluster 3, like that, so on. So based on our requirement, automatically the virtual warehouse size will be increased automatically based on whatever we have given the minimum number of clusters and the maximum number of clusters while creation of the multi-cluster warehouse. Then here, what is the meaning of this auto scale and then this standard option? So here this is the auto scale, and then we have provided a scaling option as a scaling policy as a standard. If you select this option, what it will do, even though concurrent users are connecting to your Snowflake, I am connecting a Snowflake environment, I am providing a stored procedure execution task. You are connecting a Snowflake environment and you are using this virtual warehouse. You are providing a huge SQL complex query, and one more XYZ user is connecting, and then they are initiating a data load process. So based on this process, based on this concurrent users are connected to your environment, number of tasks are submitted by the number of users. It will place all the tasks in the queue, and then it will analyze how much resources are required to complete these many tasks. Based on that, this minimum number of clusters and then maximum number of clusters will be allocated. So that is the beauty of your Snowflake. It will, whatever the tasks which are available in the queue, it will calculate and then it will identify that these many number of clusters are required to complete these many requests. So based on that, it will add 1 + 1 + 1 like that. So that is the meaning of, suppose data load is 10 TB of data, 10 complex SQL code. So based on this, it will calculate and then it will provide this hardware resources to your Snowflake environment. Guys, this option is clear or not clear? Tell me.
So based upon the data load, that the clusters will increase, right? Based upon the load.
Based upon the load, and then based upon the number of users are connecting, based upon the number of IO requests are submitting, based upon number of users are generating a reports to your on your Snowflake environment.
Okay.
This is only the first combination, right?
This is the first combination. Yes, this is the first combination. We have not discussed second combination. Here also same thing. Here also same thing. In second combination. In second combination also same thing. Here we are going to connect a minimum number of clusters, everything. But the thing is, the functionally internally, what it is doing is different. Internally, if you select this auto scale and then economic second option, what it will do, it will calculate all the tasks which are available in the queue. Suppose I provided 2 requests, you provided 2 requests, you provided another guy is to provided 2 requests. It will identify that and it will calculate that whatever the tasks are available in the pipeline are in queue, it is going to take to complete the 6 minutes, and it is not going to complete this task in the 6 minutes. So based on that, the maximum number of clusters will be added automatically. Suppose nothing but we have a 10 requests in the pipeline, 10 requests are required to complete around 8 minutes. So nothing but more than 6 minutes. Then it is going to add next cluster. So if the requests are going to complete within a 6 minutes, then it is not going to increase. That is a different here. So here, in first option, what it will do, it will calculate and then identify. It will calculate and identify that existing. Suppose minimum cluster is 1 and then maximum cluster is 1. It is not going to sufficient for the task to complete. Then it will add the immediately next cluster. At the same time, in the second option, scaling option is a, see here, auto scale and then economic means it will wait for the 6 minutes. It will calculate and then if things are going to complete within 6 minutes, that's fine. It is not going to increase. If things are not going to complete within the 6 minutes, it will analyze, calculate, and then it will increase the maximum clusters to the next maximum cluster. So this is the difference between this one and 2 option. Clear or not clear, guys? This one. I will tell you the third option.
Means my understand the standard is the thing where VM will calculate the before going to start execution of the it calculate the skill queries and data, and it
Both,
will be cost
both,
initial.
both will calculate before going to start the process. But here is in second option, we have a that time scale limit that 6 minutes. Fine.
Oh, fine, fine.
So this is about the first, and then this is about the first and second option. Third option is if you select this maximized, we don't have these options: minimum number of clusters, maximum number of clusters, more auto scale, and then standard and none. If you select the maximized, directly you have a options to select the clusters 1 to 10. If you can able to select the values whichever you required, 5, 4, 3 like that. If 5 selected, if 5 clusters are selected, then to complete your process, if you created the multi-cluster warehouse with the maximized stage, maximized option, and then clusters are 5, to complete and then to work with your task, it will utilize the parallelly all the 5 clusters. So this is the difference between the first and second and third. So here is, if you have only one value here, that is clusters, you can able to provide one value. If you provide that one value, whether it is required or not, it will use the all the clusters to complete your request. So in our projects, we are going to create maximum with the first option, auto scale, and then standard. This is the best practice, because here, if you select them, if you provide the maximum number of clusters here, based on your requirement, automatically it will add the next level of next number of cluster. So this is the best option to create your multi-cluster warehouse. So this is about the today's virtual warehouse discussion, guys, how it looks like, and then how it is going to work. So tomorrow onwards, I will create the free trial version of the Snowflake account, and then I will show you how to create. You need to make down all the steps, and then you need to create your Snowflake account once complete the tomorrow session, and then from there we will start our data load process in the Snowflake environment. So before to that, just I got an notice that from the institute, from tomorrow onwards, they are going to change the link, and you guys, whoever want to continue in the Snowflake course, you need to make a registration with the institute, and then once you make a registration, and then you will get a new link. So from tomorrow onwards, this link will not work, and then you need to communicate with the institute, and then get the registration, and then get the new link. So that is update from institute I got. That is fine. And then, so do you have any queries in this today's discussion, guys?
So usually we'll use the multiple cluster only. Single cluster is no use, right?
So that's what based upon the requirement. If you are working in a banking domain, so in that banking domain, obviously BFSI, obviously we are going to use a huge process, huge data. So in that scenario, we are going to use a multi-cluster warehouse. Suppose if you are working for the retail projects, so there we will be having a little bit less data. So for that, the single virtual warehouse is enough. That's what, based on your requirement, and then you says.
No, if you use that multi-cluster in all the projects, nothing will happen, right? Or it will affect the costs.
It will affect the
Instead of
cost.
Oh, it will affect the cost. Okay.
Guys, any other questions? I think maybe a little bit confusion this one, even though if I explain multiple times, maybe so you may have some confusions here. No need to confuse and no need to worry. All these things, whatever I have discussed in these points, I am going to show you while creation of the virtual warehouse in a Snowflake environment. So at the time you will clear, but the thing is, if you have noted all these things, so can you just summarize economy 6 minutes? You told, okay, fine. So someone is asking about this one. See here. So auto scale and then standard one option. Auto scale and then economy is another option. Maximized is the one option. So in first option, what it will do? Okay, suppose let's consider. We'll come to here. Consider this virtual warehouse 3 and then project 3. We have a 5 members. So team member 1, I will use here. Team member 1. Team member 2. Number 3. Team member 4. Team member 5. Team member is 1 is submitting. To execute. Team member 2 is submitting complex simple code. Team member 3 is doing a data loading. And 4 and 5 submitting a complex SQL code. Now, so option 1, what it will do? It will analyze all the requests. So these are the requests. It will analyze and calculate all the requests. If minimum number of cluster is 1 and maximum number of cluster is 5. Even though you defined I'm talking about the first option. Even though you defined a 5, it will start with the initially 1. It will not consume directly 5. If the provided requests are not complete with the defined minimum number of cluster 1 and then maximum number of cluster 1, then it will increase the 1 plus 1. And then it will start execute and then complete the process. This is first option. In second option is the provided requests are going to complete, it will calculate internally, are going to complete within the 6 minutes. With the minimum number of clusters and then maximum number of clusters are 1. Within the 6 minutes, the requests are going to complete. Then it will execute with the minimum clusters 1 and then maximum clusters 1. The provided requests are not going to complete within the 6 minutes, and then it is going to increase the maximum number of clusters to 1 and then so on. So that is the difference.
How we know the time, Shekhar? For example, this user required for these minutes and all.
So that
later on it will increase.
No. That is internally it will calculate this. How it is going to calculate algorithms and then we are not sure. But internally it will calculate. See, suppose let's consider if you execute any SQL code. Suppose if you execute SQL code in your SQL server, if you see the execution plan, then it will give you the statistics, right? Physical number of reads is logical number of reads is, estimation number of rows is this, actual rows is this, and then this much of bytes. So it will use some statistics which are available with the database engine, and then it will calculate. If you ask me that level, and then I don't have that algorithm level information base. Fine. Even I have a robust experience in SQL Server also, robust experience in Teradata, and then experience in SQL Server execution plans. But how it calculates the number of execution plans, logical plans, physical plans, number of reads, actual reads, and even predicates. Even I don't have that much of levels. But using existing statistics within the database engine, it will calculate, but it will go into the particular table. How many records are there in the table, and then how many records are required for this request. It will calculate such level, and then it will estimate the timings, I guess. Clear?
Performance, which one is better, the first one or the second one, economy or auto scale?
First one is the best practice actually. Almost all projects we are creating with the first option only.
Hope we will show the all the things, right, while creating.
Sorry, yeah, I'm going to show you all these things. I'm going to show
Okay.
all these things.
Okay.
That's what I told you to prepare some running notes. If you prepare from running notes, see, I am explaining all these things. You are listening all these things, but explaining and then listening, it will look like very easy. Once the session is complete, once we open the things, then it will
Yes.
look like little bit confusion. It is not that much of easy. So that I am asking, at least if you have a points, then I am going to share all these things with you guys once our things are started. That is not a problem. Fine.
In that case, why the second and third methods are there? So there must be some specific use of that, no? The first method only everyone using.
First method only if you are using means I will tell you. I will check that option, madam. I will check that option, then I will let you know. Specifically, if you ask me use case, then I will tell you. I will refer and then tell you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Guys, tomorrow we will start with the Snowflake free trial version of the account, and then so from there we will explore what are the options are available in the Snowflake environment, and then we will create some sample objects, and we will execute some sample code, and then from there we will start the sessions. Same, we will continue at 6 a.m. tomorrow morning, guys. And as I mentioned, from tomorrow the link is going to change. For that, we need to get the registration with the institute people. Then you will get the new link. Guys, any doubts in this today's discussion?
Can you share the materials to our email so that we can go through it?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yes.
Share the email IDs, your all email IDs with the institute people. They will pass your email IDs to me, and then I will share this content with you guys. Clear?
Yeah. Okay.
Or else, just who are willing to continue the session, just provide me email IDs here in the chat. Then I will make a note, and then I will send this content to the institute, and then they will share with you. Just ping me your email IDs in the chat so that I can take those email IDs and then share this content with you guys. Ping your email IDs. I got one, Shashi Kumar. One second, Shashi Kumar. See, I got Shashi Kumar, I got KRK. We got 26. I got Subedar. I got Funny. I got Sujita. Where are you from?
Yeah, I have given my ID.
No. Where are you from? You are from Hyderabad?
No, Bangalore.
Bangalore. You know Kannada?
Yeah.
So the mother tongue is Kannada only.
No, basically I am not from Karnataka. Anyway, I know.
Okay. So Bob Bus. This is Anil. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I can able to see around 10 members in the list, but I have only 9 email IDs. See here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 8 only, not 9. 1 second. I will check 1 second.
Yeah, I have shared my mail ID.
1 second. Okay. I have not copied Anil. Not copied Anil. Naga. 1 second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have 10 people. Okay, fine, guys. I will check with institute people and then I will send a content, whatever we have discussed yesterday, today. That I will share with you guys. Fine. And also, you also please be in touch base with institute people and then get registration. And then from tomorrow onwards, we will start with the Snowflake trial account. Fine. Thank you, guys. If you don't have any queries, then we will close the session for this day. So one more guy I can able to see. So again, sir, you are from Hyderabad. Yes, I am from Hyderabad only. Anyone I missed here? See here. Check your email IDs here, guys. If I missed anyone, share your email IDs. Then I will add here. Check your email IDs. Everyone's email ID is there.
Hello, sir. Can you add me?
Please share. Please share your email ID into the chat box. Yes, fine. So now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Check once again your all your email IDs is provided email IDs are correct or we have any corrections. Check and then let me know.
Yes.
Guys, if you don't have any queries, then we will close today and then we will meet again tomorrow at 6 a.m. So guys, be available at on time. So our timing, batch timing is around 6 o'clock. I will be starting around 6:05. So I will wait another 5 minutes, like till 6:05. I'm going to start the exactly from 6:05. I'm requesting you to join on time, guys. Fine. So from tomorrow onwards, our actual Snowflake concepts will be started. Don't miss anyone and please be available on time. Thank
Hello.
you, guys.
Yes. Hello.
Yeah,
Hello.
yeah.
Yeah, sir. You want to start a 7 a.m. batch? When will you start? Like coming Monday or any?
Yeah, coming. So that's what better to continue with 6 a.m. And then better to continue the 6 a.m. and get the registration with the people, institute people today. And then I will inform you when the 7 a.m. is batch going to start, and then from there I will shift you from here to there. Fine.
Okay. Okay, sir. Good.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
We will meet tomorrow. Bye.
Okay.
Thank you, Shekhar. Thanks for the session.
Thank you, guys. Bye.
Okay.
Have a nice day. Bye.